Please continue.
Just the progression system. I took my time to learn it and understand it more.
Yeah.
And I love Cyberpunk.
Do you think you're finally on like your definitive playthrough of Cyberpunk?
I do. I think yeah. I'm trying to strike a balance between not getting so bogged down in the side stuff to where I like lose momentum and never see the main story through.
Right.
But from what I've read in this game, some of the best stuff that it has to offer is the side quests and the chance encounters, kind of like The Witcher. The Witcher 3 is the same studio.
Yeah.
That game was famous for side missions being just as good, if not better, than the main storyline. You know, it's some of the best stuff that game had to offer. So trying to strike a balance of like making sure I see the main story through, but not just missing some of that side stuff that makes it so good. But this is it.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it through.
That is kind of one thing, like coming out of and finally finishing Tears of the Kingdom a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And realizing that some side stuff is trash. Like, not that, I mean, there's some stuff in that game that is really rewarding that's not part of the main quest. But when a game puts a lot of side content in there and you can kind of tell that it's just like really phoned in and they've got like the same guy voicing multiple characters or like just Zelda's filler. Case, like not voicing anyone. So it's like read, go get this thing, bring it back, get kind of a wimpy prize. You know what I mean? Especially when the reward ends up being like something you already have or, you know,
not worth
it's like,
it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Cyberpunk's good about that. To be sure.
So good. And football's back. NFL back officially. So I've been crushing that.
It's a good one.
Cowboys are going to fall flat on their face again, though. So don't get too hyped up about that.
Maybe you're wrong.
What art thou crushing?
So let's see. Man, I had my answer locked and cocked. Ooh. We did, I will say, I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, The Prince of Egypt. We did watch. I mentioned earlier. And I just need to give a shout out because that movie is freaking terrific, man. The Prince of Egypt is still like one of those animated movies that's like, I think it had the stigma around it for me growing up because it is kind of like it's a story from the Bible.
Right.
So it's like, okay, it's kind of churchy, but no, man, this is some of the finest mid 90s, late 90s, whatever animation that we ever got. Okay. It is, you ever get a chance, and it's fairly kid friendly. The music is incredible. The music in The Prince of Egypt is just terrific. And the cast is stacked, man. Like there's a ton of people in this movie.
I'll look it up and see if I recognize it.
And it's animated really cool, man. It's traditional animation with a mix of that and some CGI stuff for like when he like parts the sea and all that stuff.
Oh,
The Prince of Egypt, man. I'm telling you.
Absolutely, yeah. No, this cover, okay. I totally remember this. I don't remember anything about it, but I for sure, this is ringing a bell.
It holds up, man. I will say that. I watched Prince of Egypt, and I was delightfully like enthralled once again by it. Just how, I don't know, man, how they pull something like that off with traditional animation is nutty to me.
It's like it looks like Emperor's New Groove animation, like that era.
Kind of, yeah. I think it fell within the same era, but it's definitely like it's got kind of an edge to it.
Sure,
that's not quite Disney. I think in a very like kind of delightful way. The other thing I'll throw out there is I found a band which I put in our kind of shared thing on Spotify. I don't know if you listened to it. It's definitely like it's heavy influenced, but it is very poppy, a lot of singing. But it is a band called Catch Your Breath.
Okay.
They have a song called Dial Tone, which is really, really good. It's kind of like a broken heart love song. But I've been running that like crazy over the past week.
I haven't listened to it. I haven't listened to it yet. I've been so caught up in Phenomena 2 still.
Gotcha.
But I will go listen to it tomorrow.
Yeah. Highly recommend Catch Your Breath. They've got a couple really good songs. If you really were enjoying like Bad Omens, I think it's kind of in that vein. A lot of singing, some really good heavy parts too, though. So, Catch Your Breath, they're called. But that's pretty much it. other than what we're going to talk about here in a little bit, did not get into too many video games this week. So
I can't wait to get into what we're going to talk about. You've been
we didn't tee it. We didn't tee it up. We usually,
we did.
Usually,
go ahead.
We're usually pretty good about teeing it up, but yeah. What were you going to say?
I said you've been gatekeeping your opinion for this episode, so
I did. You had asked me about what my impressions were, and I specifically told you I wanted to withhold so that we could talk about it, and maximize that conversation.
This guy's a pro, ladies and gentlemen, a true pro.
That's right. That's right. So the beta for Black Ops 6, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, was running on and off all throughout the last week. It may even be, I think it's over. I think the beta has closed. But it ended, and then I saw that it was back on a couple days later. But anyway,
right.
I sat one night. I didn't stream it, and I kind of regret it, but I threw it on. I had it finally downloaded, all 1,000 gigs or whatever it is, and I booted it up and hopped into some games. They had kind of I think it was like a multiplayer mosh pit, so it was kind of a, just a rotating game modes.
Right.
No real choice there. And of course, you start out with a series of 5 or 6, 7, I don't know, starter classes of just kind of amalgams of some of the different weapons that they got, and played some of that. I'm trying to think of what else I did. That was really all I did. It was all core, no hardcore. I'm just kind of trying to set the table right now. Let's see.
Well, just like your classic team deathmatch, domination.
There was some team death. We did some team deathmatch. We did some domination. There was a new game mode, which I believe is called HVT, which in the business stands for high value target.
Okay.
But it is essentially a member of your team. It's team deathmatch at its base, but a member of your team at odd intervals becomes the HVT, the high value target.
Okay.
And so the other team gets more points for killing the HVT. So you're constantly, obviously you're going to shoot the other team when you see them.
Right.
But specifically you are trying to find this one rotating key member of the team.
Okay.
And that I thought was pretty fun. That added kind of a neat element to the team deathmatch.
Is the
framework.
HVT like, can the other team see that person specifically?
I believe they can. I think they do get some kind of limited, like they're kind of lit up, and you do get kind of like the marker, like they're over here.
Okay.
The HVT doesn't get any kind of like juggernaut status or anything like that. Okay. Not that I know of. Maybe like a speed buff or something. But but from what I could tell, it's just you're it pretty much, right? It's like tag. So I thought that was pretty fun. The map rotation was okay. I think I only played the same map once, like played it and played it again.
Mm-hmm.
Did not see, and again, I didn't play everything there was to play on this. But I did not see anything that was a reskin of any of the old Call of Duty maps or specifically Black Ops maps. So did not see shooting range. I'm hoping we get to bring shooting range back. That's a classic.
It's a crime that this is the 6th Black Ops and they have not done that yet.
I want shooting range back.
It is on Nuketown.
It is on COD Mobile. Oddly enough, I did. My son made me load that up as an aside, and I did. The demo actually was on Shoot House, so it's out there, but it's not its true form. I'm ready to have true
firing range, right?
Firing range.
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah. But anyway, okay.
Give it to me.
Overall impression, I think it's going to be just as good, if not a little bit better than Cold War.
Okay. Which we loved. That's high praise.
Which we loved. From a just hopping in a game right away, the things that we loved about Cold War, the tightness, the quickness of it. It is strangely a little more fast-paced and more athletic feeling than Modern Warfare in a weird way. I think we both realized that's here. A lot of the same sound effects. When you throw a flashbang in Cold War and it has that kind of like a can, almost like clang clang.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that is there. Those sounds have not been altered at all. The gunplay still incredibly tight, still very, very satisfying. The kind of Cold War Black Ops, like when you get badges for a kill and you get that cling, 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 cling.
Yep.
That's there. The sound is different, but it's very like you get kind of an impact for those.
You like the galloping, like.
Yeah. When you level up, you get a nice little reveille on like it wasn't a guitar, but it was something cool. The game takes place in the early 90s, so I'm sure it was probably some kind of like retro-esque. Right. What else? Guns. So a lot of the guns obviously are kind of 90s inspired. Yeah. It's very if you think of like Die Hard, kind of like the weapon set in like a Die Hard movie, it's a lot like that. The weapons are not the kind of like rails upon rails on M4 frames and stuff like that. You've got kind of and they are still going with they're not using the actual official names of all the weapons. So you'll see.
I hate that. I know it's a small thing, but like that really drives me insane.
It is, and I keep meaning to like research that. I'm sure there's a good like YouTube video out there that explains like the actual thinking behind that, but I'm fairly certain it probably just comes down to they did not want to pay Colt or Kalashnikov to license the name, which is
exactly what it is.
But anyway, a lot of familiar looking guns, and then a lot of kind of cool. There's a couple subs that are kind of like oddities, kind of look a little, like. What is that? Like some kind of secret Soviet submachine gun that has a weird like magazine mechanism. Really great pistol play. I got kind of the starter 45 and was rocking with that pretty easily right off the bat. Sniping, very satisfying as it was in Cold War. There is a starter sniper that is it's a bolt action. It's rather slow. But it's if you get the right shot, it's pretty much a one-shotter.
Nice.
Yeah, man. I think overall impressions on this, like I say, all I really touched was the multiplayer, but it seems really solid, man, and it really does kind of speak to a really, really fun, at least a really fun multiplayer season for the upcoming Call of Duty.
How do you feel about? Because this alone can make or break a Call of Duty to me. How did you feel about the maps? How many different ones did you see? Were they like unique and cool, or were they like rural, just I don't know, kind of boring stuff?
They were really neat. I will say the variety of locale was nicely varied. It was I think we play. There's always like some rich guy's yacht or some rich guy's estate, and then the next one's like. I will say one of the maps we played was in Iraq, and I don't remember what the map was called. There's like a big collapsed satellite dish on the map. But I was kind of staggered by how much it looked like Iraq. Like,
really?
It was not just like sand and a yellow sky. Like it was very brown and bombed out and kind of dirty and just like scorched in this way that Iraq actually is, and it really, really kind of captured that in a very odd way. So all the maps that I got to play on seemed pretty easy to figure out, honestly. I think the first one I played was like some kind of factory next to a train yard in probably Soviet era Russia. That was kind of a complex map, but I was kind of blown away at how quickly I kind of figured out, now I didn't get down into kind of the minutia and the back tunnels and the if you go down here and you come up here and all that stuff. But for the large part, all the maps that I played were fairly easy to navigate. And the rotation seemed pretty good. It wasn't, I know there's been kind of eras where it's like you get the same one over and over. They did bring back the voting system for maps.
I love that. I feel like that's a no-brainer. It's a tiny little thing that adds so much to me. I love that.
It does. Man, there were some other things. I should have been taking notes while I was doing this, but I didn't really anticipate actually doing.
How was the difficulty? I feel like difficulty can vary wildly from COD to COD. Some I feel like I'm unstoppable, and there's been some CODs where I feel like I have trouble going positive from round to round.
So I felt, I feel like I'm pretty middling as far as Call of Duty skill goes. But I had a couple really good rounds on there. I had a couple, maybe didn't set the rocket off or anything like that, but I had a couple rounds where I was definitely getting some kill streaks.
Hell yeah.
I don't think I unlocked the ability to change my kill streaks. So whatever I had, I think it was like a UAV and then some other rinky-dink things that you would never want, but it's just kind of the default when you start. Sure. But yeah, as far as like difficulty, it's if you've been playing Call of Duty recently, I think you'll find it pretty good. The movement. Now I will say there was a tutorial for some of the new movement mechanics, and I talked about this last week, and I don't know if you've seen it yet online or in videos, but basically you have the ability to rotate your character kind of like you could in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
Where if you are prone, there are ways to like roll onto your back and aim down your feet.
Oh.
I did not figure out how to do that, but I definitely got killed by some people who leapt away from me and in the air turned to face me and max pained me. Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty
and
sick,
I felt
actually.
dumb because there was a tutorial for that and I skipped it, but I was like, I just want to play.
Right.
But when the game properly drops, or if they run another beta, hopefully, I'm definitely going to figure that out and try to master that skill, because looking at it and having like being on the business end of it was actually, I was like, that's kind of sick.
Really
I'm not
cool.
going to lie. It
looks
looks
shot
kind
in the
of
back, and it's just a matter of like a
like a
couple
dive.
buttons, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can turn around and drop them.
Absolutely. So that's cool. It does look kind of weird watching like Call of Duty models, right? Like the actual players always move kind of a specific way. And that does seem like a silly way for a Call of Duty character to move. But it works. It doesn't maybe look the smoothest, but it works. And it is a very cool shooting game mechanic that you are not necessarily like everyone, like if you're running across a clearing or you are trying to get from A to B and you start taking back shots, it's generally just like, you're like, you hope you make it, but you're generally accepting like, I'm going to eat it here. But knowing that you actually stand a chance to maybe turn the tables is pretty interesting for me.
No, that's cool. The movement doesn't bother me. I'm used to people jumping around like fucking, you get the hoppity hop guys with a
which really I don't like. A lot of people get mad when they're like, oh, they took out slide canceling, they took this out, they added this. I don't care. I like for it to feel a little bit more natural, and people who are jumping around just piss me off. Honestly.
No, yeah, me too. At
least add like a stamina bar or something. Tucker those dudes out. I will say the one mechanic that they have seemingly removed, I looked, I couldn't find it. I think it is not going to be present in the game, is one of my favorite things that Modern Warfare 2 added, which was the shooting range. There's nothing more awesome to me than when you put a build or put a new attachment on your weapon and you can test it.
Yeah.
And you can validate that you like the way it feels and you feel good about the way that you're able to, everything from your ads, aim down sight time to the recoil to all that. The way to test it out here is take it to the field, baby.
It seems like I don't know anything about programming.
Go. I'm still recording. Love you.
Don't know anything about programming a game, but that feels like something that would not be that hard to just put in there. Like, why not?
I know. Yeah. It can be an empty room. Doesn't have to be a lot of work. and just throw some targets up there. Let me shoot my guns. Bless you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
But yeah, I don't know why. That's such a small piece of something that Modern Warfare innovated on that I really enjoy. But not a deal breaker. I saw some people kind of shitting on this game. Saw some people kind of shitting on the new movement mechanics. Kind of like you, like the hippity hop guys are probably going to love some of this.
Sure.
I had fun. Man. I absolutely am pumped to hop into this full time and play it.
Are we about a month away? Give or take?
October 25th, so a little over a month.
A little longer.
Yeah.
Well, I will certainly be grabbing it. Hopefully it's on Game Pass. Even if it's not, I mean, that's going to carry us through the holiday season, spit us out on the other side of it. So we'll definitely get our money's worth on it.
Some sleepy Saturday nights, crushing bad dudes.
Maybe,
sounds
yeah.
Like a good time.
If anybody's listening, if you want to squat up one night and hit some,
let's go. COD with the boys, man.
Yeah,
let's do
it.
it.
It'd be fun. It'd be cool.
I will say in closing, I still hope the campaign's good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that if they had like a demo portion of the campaign available. I did not touch it if they did. And I hope, I know it's not your favorite thing. I kind of hope there's a fun zombies for this one. If they have a good zombies mode with a good map, and maybe if they could take out some of the crazy, like there's like aliens and portals and shit in there.
Let's cut that back a little bit.
Let's go back to basics, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go back to basics. Give me a good basic zombie map that maybe just builds to some of the crazy shit.
I'm always willing to give zombies a chance. My problem with it is I get bored faster than I like get good at it or progress, anywhere.
Right.
But I'm always willing to give it a chance. That is one thing. You got to give them props. They're cramming a single player campaign, an entire online multiplayer, and zombies into one title. So it is a lot of value for a single purchase.
It is. I hope all of it is good. I hope all of it's like the Modern Warfare 3 effect. I paid $70 for 1/3 of this game that I am going to actively enjoy.
Right.
Everything else is dog shit.
It becomes not as good of a value when
let me buy the multiplayer for $30. That seems fair. If that's the only part that you're going to spend any real time on, that's the only part I want.
They'll never do that.
Black Ops 6 beta. I'm gonna give a solid A-.
Okay.
A few rough edges. It's a beta, obviously, but all in all, felt like the game I wanted it to be. It felt like the era, the aesthetics were right. I'm into it, man. I love it. I'm amped.
No Wiz Khalifa.
What?
Remember, like last week or the week before, we're talking about like Nicki Minaj being in Call of Duty, and
oh yeah,
we're like nothing will be more disappointing than if you can play Wiz Khalifa. And
I forgot about that. Yeah, no, leave all that out, man. Let's just be army dudes. Let's just be army dudes for now. That's what I want.
I'm so happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. All right, we hit a couple write-ins.
Let's hit it.
Righties.
This
one's for you.
Send
Chief, why did you flip your camera on the pod? What are you doing?
What are you doing? That's a Discordism, friend. Who wrote that? Is that one of the regulars?
That was Cool Boy.
Ban him. I'm just kidding.
God.
No, Discord does that. You can Google that. Why does Discord flip my camera around? There's no way to fix that. We've looked into it. There's probably some script I can run in command line, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It's still me. I'm just it's how you normally see me on TikTok and stuff is flipped anyway.
Right.
This whatever. I have a very like asymmetrical face already. So I feel like really you should thank me.
If they saw you in person, they wouldn't even recognize you. You'd look completely different.
Yeah. Exactly.
Completely different.
So, it's a Discord thing.
It is a Discord thing. This isn't really a question. I'm going through like our general stuff.
All right.
Ewolf said, after listening to this last pod, I couldn't help but to correct Cody on his claim about rice. Rice is a grain, so it is similar to wheat, which does make it bread, but it is a whole food. I guess I said rice was not a whole food.
You did. I
So-
feel like we squashed it though, because you were like, and I was like, eat some rice, and you were like, no, can't eat rice. And I was like, well, rice is a whole food. And then you looked it up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
eat rice, man.
Take
Yeah.
that, Ewolf.
Brown
Came here to
rice
serve
is better.
me.
Yeah, get up out of here, you wolf. Shoo. No, yeah, brown rice is supposed to be better, but I don't know. Rice to me is probably all play ball. It's good to go.
I think so. Here's another one. I had to revisit the origin story of the Get Fisted line. That is hilarious. It's episode 33, a whole 10 weeks ago.
Yeah,
So I guess we've been saying Get Fisted for 10 weeks now.
we have. I'm surprised people still catch it because it happens. It's a blink and you'll miss it event at the very, very end of each episode.
It's a great sign that anybody knows we do that because you got to stay till the very, very, very end.
In for the long haul.
You got to stick to the end of the credits for that one.
Yeah. For anyone who doesn't, if you've maybe joined us since episode 33, 10 weeks ago, we were playing Fortnite with my son, and he got the Nitro Fists, which are like these like Hulk hand gauntlets that you just punch people with. And it was me, Cody, and my son. My son got those and he was putting in work. He was getting some kills.
Oh, yeah.
And all the way into his mic, shouts at the top of his lungs, "Get fisted." And it was such a proud father moment for me.
The additional awesome line of "My fists are hungry."
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot about "My fists are hungry." Dude was laying down some of the most epic one-liners, and he's 11. So yeah, get fisted.
That's
My fists are hungry. That should be
fists
like
are-
the charge and reply.
My fists are hungry.
My
That's
fists
so
are
good.
hungry.
Maybe I'll change our little about on our YouTube page is "My fists are hungry."
My fists are hungry.
Happy Monday, my
Love it.
Gin Pop Baja brothers and sisters. Isn't really a question. You and I are both aware of this, but I figured I would bring it up again. In case you're looking to change it up and find something entirely different on Spotify, give this surprisingly phenomenal cover of War Pigs by T-Pain, yeah, T-Pain, a listen. It's genuinely impressive. I thought the same thing. I sent it to Josh. He had already, he was aware of it. He had already heard it. But it is incredible. I think it is so, so good.
T-Pain might be one of my favorite creators that also like I don't listen to a lot.
Right, yeah.
He streams video games, which I think is cool because that's just a very regular guy thing to do.
Right.
He's very talented. And I love that T-Pain had that moment where people were kind of talking crap about him using too much auto-tune or
Right.
whatever, and he silenced them with his voice.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
now he's doing Black Sabbath covers. Yeah, T-Pain rocks, man. And that cover
Yeah.
rocks.
It's very,
No
very,
brainer.
very good. Okay. Here we'll actually get to a question. Staying in the Brave Ethos. Staying in the video game realm. Josh, you mentioned Mass Effect recently. It is
Yeah.
still one of my favorite game series to date. Who was your go-to squad? He says,
Ooh.
ultimately, I'd always resort to Garrus and Rex/Grunt for the banter and the total overkill those two brought in a fight.
So that's a wonderful question. I do love Garrus, man. Garrus is positively best boy. He's just cool, man. I mean, he's pretty much like a space Aragorn, like lone wolf, sniper, ex-cop. Cool dude. Cool character design. Love Garrus. Witty.
Yeah.
Kind of he's a loose cannon, right?
Right.
I like Rex and Grunt as characters in the game. I never ran them in as a squad, really. I think maybe I would run Grunt sometimes. I would try to switch it up. Like I tried taking different characters out because,
Right.
they all have different dialogue options, like as you're kind of going through these worlds.
Yep.
Especially Mass Effect 2, it seems like they get more into that. I really liked... Oh man, and I'm going series wide here. I really do like Liara. She's got some really good like biotic abilities. Always liked Jack is really cool. She's like a psycho who can do some really cool like biotic stuff as well. Tali's really good. She's got her kind of tech abilities. And I'm just kind of a Tali head. I think she's probably best girl. I've romanced her more than anyone. Who I'm not taking out, I'm definitely not taking out Caden. That dude sucks. I don't like Caden or Ashley. They're both super boring to me. I don't like Jacob. Jacob's boring. And I don't like Miranda. Miranda's super boring.
Those are all like regular people names anyway.
Yeah,
Jacob,
yeah, they're just,
Miranda.
basically all the humans.
Yeah.
Thane Krios, the frog-looking dude from ME2, is really cool. That dude's also very cool. So maybe my optimal matchup actually is Thane and Garrus. But yeah,
that's pretty great. I would, before it's all said and done, Metal Gear Solid and then running Mass Effect back through again are on my list. We laughed because you let me borrow all of your Mass Effects and I played them, but I didn't spend a lot of time like upgrading the ship or taking care of like my crew, because in the end, for me, everybody died. Like everybody. I had no crew to speak of at the end. And then I kind of asked Josh, I'm like, is everybody supposed to die? It's like, no, you gotta take care of them.
What did you do?
Yeah. So I need to play it again and pay attention to some of the stuff I was supposed to be doing. But I remember loving, thinking back on my playthrough gives me very like a warm feeling. There's something about that game that's kind of comforting and fun. I really enjoyed it when I played through.
Yeah.
Great question.
Absolutely.
I love this question. Coolboy 3010. If you could have any skill or talent at the snap of your fingers, what would it be? And mine would be, I don't even have to think. Dance moves, bro. Like if I could dance like Usher or Chris Brown, or like I want nothing more than like if I'm at a wedding or like in an area where there's like dancing going on, to be the guy that like spreads everybody out in a circle and then just fucks it up like right in the middle of everybody, dude. I mean, just like if I'm ever like scrolling YouTube shorts or something, if a dancing video, but like a good dancer, like one of those that you can't look away from, you know, like guys that float or just like do things where you're like, I don't know how that's even possible. I can't stop watching it. I wish I could dance, man. Like awesome dance. That'd be the coolest
what's
thing
stopping
ever.
you, man? What's stopping you?
I'm fucking 30 and don't have any time to figure that out.
You're not 30 yet. You still got time.
About 2 months away. I know. I got no fucking like rhythm, anything like that. So I wish I could. I realized that you could do anything you dedicated yourself to, but that's just,
yeah.
I don't know, man.
I
want to be able to get down like Chris Brown, like anywhere and everywhere.
What's true for your dancing is true for my talent and skill. I have always wanted to be just like sit down at a piano and just start just going.
Yeah.
Like we got into Sleep Token this year. And there's so many parts that I was like, dude, if I could sit down at like a nice restaurant and just bang out some of these piano licks, I'd eat my meal would be on the house.
Oh yeah.
That would be cool to be able to sit,
that would be
like
cool.
people do that at an airport. Sometimes they have like the grand piano in there sometimes, and people sit down and they actually play something that's like pleasant to listen to. I want to be that guy 100%. I've always wanted to be just like an on the spot pianist.
Well, what's stopping you? You have a piano. I moved it for you.
I'm 36. Well, that's still, we're not going to talk about that piano. The piano almost got me, baby.
Dude, that thing weighed 5,000 pounds.
He's a big boy. A big old boy. Okay. That's probably going to do it for us this week. Man, 44 episodes is nutty. We're getting close to that big 5-0.
5-2. Wait. Well, both, I guess.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, 52 weeks in a year, but 50 is still crazy, right?
That is crazy.
I mean, 50 of these bad boys. It's
Hung
nutty.
half 100.
That's right. That's right. Working on some guest spots coming up over the next few weeks. Try to get some more interactions with folks in here.
Maybe Sylvester Stallone. You never know.
Maybe the Tulsa King will join us. Offers out there. Just saying.
Yeah, if you know him. Pass it along if you know him.
Give him our info. Hey, if you like the episode, make sure to leave a review. If you're listening, leave a little star rating. Leave us a comment if you're listening on Spotify. If you're watching, if you haven't already, smash the subscribe button. Give us a likey, hit that bell. Share it with your friends. Share it with your coworkers. If you got someone who's in the market for a new podcast. And, man, we sure do appreciate y'all writing in. Cool Boy, Brave Athos, the regulars.
The Reggies.
Thanks. Yeah. If you want to get read on the podcast, there's a link in the description. Go to our Discord. There's a channel called Questions for Pod. Slide on in there.
Put it in there.
Put it in there. You might get read.
You will get read.
You will get read.
That's a promise.
Not even a question. The hardpoint promise. All right. Baja blessings, my children. Just started Baja blasting.
Give us a...
My fists are hungry. See ya.